In the NHL playoff bubble back in August of 2020, Columbus won that best-of-5 series in 5 games. They've actually won 9 of the last 12 regular season meetings here as well. But Ray Ferraro, the Leafs have 4 regulars out of the lineup, so the focus becomes on those who remain.
Well, everybody's going to get injury problems throughout the year, suspension dispensa as well, and so your best players are going to have to take more of a load. They'll move players around on different lines, but William Nylander is a pretty interesting character. Had a great start for the Leafs, then went no goals in 7 games, then scored 3 straight. Now he's gone on the weekend, he went quiet with no goals. Tonight they could use a pump from William Nylander. His offense is dire needed with a team that's not going to have Mitch Marner for the next couple of weeks.
And 2 Leafs will make their NHL debuts tonight. Christian Rubinch on defense and Alex Steeves at forward. Austin Matthews starts with Michael Bunting and Wayne Simmonds on his right side. Simmonds had a bee in his bonnet against Winnipeg on Sunday. 18 penalty minutes against the Jets. Zach Werenski goes rink wide for Oliver Bjorkstrand. Centers of that pass just missed Boone Jenner. And Gustav Nyquist sends it back in front. Chance for Bjorkstrand. Stopped in tight by Campbell. 2 good looks here for Columbus in the early going. Morgan Riley, lead pass to Wayne Simmonds, who sends that in. Simmonds got ridden off the puck by Jake Bean. And that long pass misfired. Racing to it is Jenner, and Campbell had to come up and play that away. Off the bench comes Alex Kerfoot as he banks that past Vladislav Gavrikov. Loose in the corner, scooped up by Tavares. John Tavares winds in and shoots, and that was blocked by Andrew Peeke. Peeke back on it, being watched there by Tavares. Peeke up along the boards. And here's Max Domi digging it free and finds Bjorkstrand at the end of his shift. And Bjorkstrand banks it ahead. He finds Jack Roslovic moving in. Roslovic will move behind the back, and Muzzin takes him off the puck.
It's a good close by Muzzin. Roslovic scored on that. A very similar play on Sunday against San Jose, down the left side and cut to the net.
It was a healthy scratch the game before. Columbus struggling to score goals until that game against San Jose. There's that long shoot in his block. Of course, Patrick Lyon, he's still out of the lineup, missing his 15th game with an oblique strain. And there's a long shot taken by Rubinch on his first NHL shift, and that's stopped by his fellow Latvian, Elvis Merzlikins.
It's been an up and down year for Jake Muzzin. He's starting to catch a little bit of a stride. This is a really good defensive play, timed well, stick on puck, and Jack Roslovic, who's trying to go on the outside, has nowhere to go. This is on the very first shift of the game. Columbus with a chance around the front of the net. They retrieve the puck, and on an odd bounce, Bjorkstrand turned aside with a sharp right pad stop from Campbell.
Off the face-off, that's won away by Danforth, Justin Danforth, who won a gold medal with Canada at the World Championship last spring in Latvia. Signed as a free agent by Columbus after a couple of good years in Europe. Last year in the KHL, year before that, the MVP in Finland. Mulligan plays that around. The pass misfired for Camp, and racing back to center ice is Ritchie to pick it up, being harassed there by Cole Sillinger, the 19-year-old. Who's eligible to play for Canada at the World Junior Championship, won't be there. His dad Mike played 18 years in the NHL, and Cole was born in Columbus when his dad played there. Lead pass for Kyle Clifford, moving in, a little backhand shot stopped by Merzlikins, and loose puck goes by Riley and back to the other end. So Alex Steeves, wearing number 46, is getting his first NHL shift for 3 years at Notre Dame, signed as an undrafted college free agent. Engvall with it, rink wide he goes for Riley. And Steve's going off on a change. That long shoot in by Riley, stopped easily by Merzlikins. Racing up is Simmonds. That's moved by him, by Eric Robinson. And Zach Werenski jumps in for Columbus. Werenski, already the Blue Jackets' all-time leader in goals by a defenseman in his 6th season, had that bumped off his stick.
Going to see a lot of Werenski in the game tonight.
Now Matthews with the steal, walks in, fans on that shot, gets it back, shoots. Oh, what a pass save by Merzlikins.
Great stop.
Bunting for Simmonds. In the corner, plays that back for Hall. The pass misfired. Elvis Merzlikins signed to a 5-year contract extension in the offseason. The Blue Jackets had the tragic death of Matis Kivlenieks, fellow Latvian who's killed in an accident just prior to the start of training camp. Back at the point is Andrew Peeke with a long wrist shot. Campbell eats that up and hangs on to the rebound.
Columbus has had all kinds of trouble defending of late. They won against San Jose on the weekend, but gave up 19 shots in the first period. And when Matthews fans on this, now Merzlikins has to track the puck, follow, and he makes an excellent left pad stop. Kyle Clifford's going to get a chip up the wall, and he drives the net. Does a really good job of not running into the goaltender, but a scoring chance by Clifford that Merzlikins is able to turn aside.
Alex Steves on the right.
Congratulations to him and Rubich, both of them now National Hockey Leaguers.
Lead pass from Bronner to Kerfoot. He centered it. That's knocked down by Roslovic, who came over from Winnipeg along with Patrick Laine. Jake Voracek drops it back. Domi for Roslovic. A sharp angle shot. He rattled that wide. And that gets by Gavrikov and back down to the Blue Jackets zone. Ray, the Blue Jackets have really overhauled their core when you think about it. Artemi Panarin and Sergei Bobrovsky left as free agents. Then they traded Seth Jones, traded Pierre-Luc Dubois.
You know what I like about this? It's not a rebuild. Every team has their own word. Columbus and Jarmo Kekalainen, their general manager, they call it a restart.
Okay.
I'm just saying what they call it. It's a rebuild, but you can call it whatever you want.
Gregory Hoffman takes that lead pass, but that's offside at the Toronto line. These key parts of the game are presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Columbus has to clean up that defensive zone. They've run all over the place in the last little while, rely on their goaltenders a lot, and it's not a winning formula. And for the Leafs, it's a Tuesday in December. It's a busy schedule. You have to avoid a lull after an emotional weekend. Don't give away 2 points that are there for you to take.
And you've got the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions coming in Thursday night. And a penalty coming, and it's touched up by Kasha, and the first power play of the game is going to go to Columbus. Check that it's going to the Leafs.
No, it's Cole Sillinger.
Yeah, Sillinger goes off.
34, 2 minutes hooking.
Weird, the Leafs had the puck when they blew the whistle, but it will be a Toronto power play.
David Kampf is going to come off the sidewall. You see the stick of Sillinger get parallel through the arms, and he'll go to the box in the Leaf power play. We'll jump on the scene here. 2 for 5 in Winnipeg. They got 4 power play goals their last 2 games.
Kaja drops that back to Tavares to Nylander. William Nylander swings that back for Riley. Nylander with 3 power play goals on the year. Matthews leads the way with 5. Nylander shoots, scores! William Nylander fires it home. 13 seconds into the power play, and the Leafs have a 1-0 lead.
Great puck movement and not much delivery time for William Nylander on and off the stick, and he beats Merzlikins over to the far side. Always starts with Tavares in the face-off win. Close to 60% on the season, and as the Leafs move the puck around, the seam will open up between the 2 forwards. Matthews finds a cross-seam pass. He zips it to Nylander, and his shot beats Merzlikins to the blocker side, and it's 1-0.
So the 4th power play goal of the year for William Nylander, who now has 4 goals in his last 6 games. And James Duthie mentioned it prior to the game, the Leafs are dynamite when they score first. They've won the last 11 times they've scored the game's first goal. They're 12-1 overall. And now Brad Larson, Columbus's coach, is having a discussion with the officials. Are we getting a challenge here?
Columbus is challenging that their goaltender interference prior to the goal.
So we're going to get a look at this, Gord, and Andre Kasha's stick will come onto the blocker and stick of Merzlikins. Pretty clearly makes contact with it. The decision will be whether this impedes Merzlikins from playing his position. Deep in the blue paint, he gives Merzlikins gives Kasha a couple of whacks in the back, but it's with Kasha turns right here.
Well, it's as the puck is going by him.
And so they have to determine whether that prevents Merzlikins from playing his position, whether his blocker gets pushed inward where he might make a save otherwise.
I'm glad that I, unlike you, don't have to give opinions on this, so what do you say?
I think it's goalie interference. And you know, Gord, I hate saying that.
It pains you to say, I don't think it is. It looks simultaneous to me, but As I said, your opinion is the one that matters. And it pains me to say that.
Well, so here's the... Now, you know what, on that look, I think it's past him when the contact is made.
Jake Muzzin agrees with you. He's watching your monitor.
We're going to find out.
After the coach's challenge of review, the original call on the ice stands. We have a good goal. Columbus is charged with bench minor penalty for delay of game.
So there's the second part to this, Gord. Is the unsuccessful challenge means Columbus is shorthanded again. And that Leaf power play that just had a minute-and-a-half break, they'll jump right back out.
And it'll be the Tavares unit again after that long break for the review. So Nylander's got his 4th power play goal of the year, and the Leafs, as you mentioned, now 5 power play goals their last 3 games. There were 5 power play goals between the Jets and the Leafs on Sunday night. Bouncing puck in the corner. Gavrikov plays it around. It's picked up by Tavares. Slides it back to Riley. The Leafs are set up. Riley swings it across to Nylander. Back for Riley. Across he goes to Matthews. Walking in. Matthews shoots. He whistled that just wide, short side.
Dangerous shooters on both of the circles for the Leafs.
Matthews dropped that back. It's picked up by Alex Texier. And Texier works it on Nylander. Can't get a shot away. Now Nyquist tries to center it. Matthews picks that up. And away comes Austin Matthews across the line with Tavares. Matthews swings that back. Texier got a stick on it. Riley keeps it alive. Morgan Riley drops that back to Matthews. Matthews across to Nylander. To the front of the net, Tavares. He got shoved down. Centers it. Loose puck in front. That's knocked away by Nyquist. And now picked up by Texier, shorthanded on a tired Morgan Riley. Texier streaks and a backhand shot stopped by Campbell. Texier gets it back, tries another one, that goes wide.
That looked like 3-on-3 at the end. When Texier missed the second time, he came out from behind the net. There was still no Leafs around.
Muzzin plays it across to Simmons.
Sheldon Keefe got very happy with that first power play group when they came off the ice, giving up those 2 shorthanded chances.
Rink wide, a quick chance for Ritchie. Slams the rebound wide. Engvall with it. In the corner for Bunting.
Look out.
That pass goes rocketing over the glass, right behind the Columbus bench.
Texier has 8 goals on the season. Short-handed to danger as he gets out in front of Morgan Riley, but he's at the end of his shift too. This shot is stopped by Campbell, and then the Leaf players just vacate. Watch the front. Nylander and Riley head left. Matthews went right, and that allows Texier to come around the back of the net and try and swoop one past Campbell.
Gavrikov off the face-off win by Sean Corrali sends it down. Corrali came over as a free agent from Boston, signed a 4-year deal with the Blue Jackets. Muzzin fires that down. And Max Domi, who was serving that penalty, steps back on. In comes Corrali. Centers at that pass, just missed Gavrikov, who jumped in. The puck goes wide. Gavrikov, the sideboard shoots, that goes off Hall over the glass and out of play. William Nylander has his 11th of the year, and the Blue Jays, or the Maple Leafs rather, have a 1-0 lead on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN.
Tonight, it's Alex Steeves. The 21-year-old Notre Dame product is making his NHL debut. He says he signed with the Leafs because they sold him on the team's holistic approach to player development. They showed him video of one-on-one work with Austin Matthews in the summer, and he was really impressed. And he's taken advantage of the system so far, guys, earning rave reviews for a strong start with the Marlies.
He had lots of suitors in the offseason once he decided to go pro. So the Blue Jackets have the face-off in the Toronto zone. Oh dear, haven't seen them in a while.
I was wondering what Vladdy Guerrero was doing here, but
Campbell gloves that.
an exciting time to get to play your first game, and first little one, as I remember, first part of it just goes by so fast. It's like you're not even there. It's almost out of body for you. terrific career at Notre Dame.
In his first pro year, got kind of derailed with the Marauders. Got hurt early on, but he's been pretty productive. 7 goals in 12 games. That shot goes off the outside of the goal frame. Now Domi plays it around to Roslovic. Back at the point is Bean with a shot that's blocked by Kerfoot and race for it. Now Kerfoot gets in there. That's knocked away by Werenski. And here comes Zach Werenski jumping into the rush. Werenski gets it on Brody and shoots, and Campbell knocks that away.
Werenski's been up the ice 4 times already in this first period. Such an easy skater.
And you were a huge fan of his at the 2016 World Junior. He was named the top defenseman of that tournament.
Just stood out with the, again, I use the word ease that he gets around the ice. His confidence with the puck is really something that just as a kid, it stood out.
And now Rubin ranges back. And Zach Werenski, with Seth Jones gone, sees lots of ice time in Columbus. He's 3rd in the league in average minutes played per game, tied with Jones, now in Chicago.
Next year, his extension kicks in.
Yeah.
It'll be the 3rd highest paid defenseman in the league next year. Unless somebody leapfrogs that in the next 10 months.
Pick 3 by Danforth, the Oshawa native. Goes up for Sillinger. Gregory Hoffman had that knocked off his stick. Hoffman, longtime Swiss player. In the Swiss National League Championship last year. Finally came to North America at the age of 29.
It scored pretty consistently over there as well. And you know, it's a big adjustment at his age, 29 years old, to come over and play a new system, new league, new rink. 94 goals the last 180 games in Switzerland. Not an easy league to score in either.
Clifford plays that around. There's a wraparound try for Steves. That's turned away by Merzlikins. Bjorkstrand rink wide for Gavrikov. He was a gold medalist for the Olympic athletes of Russia in the 2018 Olympics.
He's also a force in the World Juniors in this race.
2015.
My goodness, he was a monster for the Russian team.
In comes Hall with it. Hall a centering pass to Clifford, a backhand shot. That goes just wide. Pick up the other way by Bjorkstrand. Top line goes to work for Columbus. And the Blue Jackets across the line as Bjorkstrand centers it. Tied for the team lead in points with Jake Voracek. Now moved in by Kasha. On the other side is Gustav Nyquist, who missed all of last year with a shoulder injury. Brought in up by Roslovic with Nyquist. Roslovic to Nyquist. Works in, waits, and shoots. That goes off the leg of Riley. And Morgan Riley back with it to Camp. Drops it back to Kasha. Up for Camp. A centering pass knocked away by Nyquist. Picked up by Kasha. Slides it back to Brody. A long wrist shot got through. Merzlikins makes the stop. And Voracek moves that to Roslovic. Voracek returns to Columbus, where he spent his first 3 NHL seasons. As that bouncing puck is knocked away. And Kerfoot picks off that pass in the corner, drops it back to Rubens. Rubens a wrist shot, and Merzlikins fights that off.
Already a couple of shots for him.
On his fellow countryman and friend. Domi banks that back down. Domi had a tough last few months. Shoulder surgery in June. Came back, broke some ribs right out of training camp, and then went into COVID protocol. That pass misses Nylander. And icing waved off.
All 10 guys on the ice thought it was icing.
Now Tavares centers it. And Kerfoot a shot that just dribbles wide. And Merzlikins pounces on that rolling puck. 9:08 to go here in the opening period. Maple Leafs with a 1-0 lead on Columbus.
Leafs, their first power play of the game, you see the seam open up for Matthews to find Nylander. The key to it is the receiver of the puck, Nylander, doesn't jump too early. He keeps that pass lane open, catch, release, 1-0 Toronto.
TSN 5G View gives you the ability to control the angle on every play, zoom in and out, and rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G View for more info. Nylander steps in for the faceoff. He's been quite good on draws this year, over 60%. And that one scrambled, bounces down to Andrew Peeke. Blue Jackets won 12 of their first 18 games, hit the skids here lately, snapped a 4-game losing streak on Sunday night, but they've lost 4 in a row on the road. They're playing 11 out of 13 games away from home.
What a miserable part of the schedule. They're going to try and hold their head above water as they go back home Thursday for 1 home game and then a West Coast trip for 5.
Back goes Muzzin-Thorpe, moves away from Texier. Now poked in front by Corrali, that's knocked away by Campbell. Tavares back with it. Lead pass for Kerfoot. Alex Kerfoot moves in. And Tavares paddles there with Werenski. Centering pass broken up by Corrali. Throws it ahead to Werenski. Werenski pivots back, native of Grosse Pointe, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. He grew up idolizing Nicholas Lidstrom. Good pick.
Not bad.
Now busting in, here comes Danforth with a chance, shoots at the goal post. Justin Danforth with a chance there. Now Werenski a long shot, that deflects wide. Good shot taken there by Jake Bean, deflected wide. Now Brody back with it for Matthews. That's knocked down by Danforth, who plays it back in. There's Brody back with it. 7:45 to go in the opening period. Leaves with a 1-0 lead. Riley picks that free and spins back. Long lead pass for Bunting. Matthews quieted at center ice with Pete. And now Matthews back with it. Spins in front of Pete. Slides that down to Simmons. He was poke checked there by Gavrikov. And now Bjorkstrand with it. Gavrikov was a longtime defense partner of David Savard with Columbus. That second pair was very different than the first. One was the scalpel, they were the hammer. Plays offside at the...
Now, going to be a Toronto penalty as well here, Gord, as Michael Bunting's going to get called.
Toronto, number 58, 2-minute minor penalty for slashing.
So a neutral zone slashing penalty for Bunting. That'll give Columbus their first power play. Puck will turn over and he's going to end up with the slash. Here's the Danforth goalpost. A long breakout by Columbus. A nice little tip pass. And in the middle of the ice, it's Bunting who gets on the wrong side of the puck. Danforth jumps in quickly for the chance.
This is not unfamiliar territory, Ray, for the Blue Jackets, who have won 13 games. They've trailed in 9 of them. There's 7 wins when the opposition scores first. A dangerous game, but they were doing all right. Werenski rings it around to Voracek. And Voracek, a 14-year veteran, had that stripped away. Voracek telling us before the game, when he got traded by Columbus to Philadelphia a decade ago, the Blue Jackets fired their coach shortly after. Then he got traded by Philly back to Columbus, and the Flyers fired their coach shortly after.
Wayne Vigneault, one of the 2 coaches, let go this week.
Yeah. Bjorkstrand slides that back, Ed picked up by Engvall. And back loose in the corner. Boone Jenner pokes at it. Who leads the Blue Jackets with 5 power play goals. Bjorkstrand back to Jenner, banks it across. That's played back by Boqvist. Adam Boqvist, going from Chicago in the Seth Jones trade. Scored a couple of goals the other night against San Jose.
And one of the few teams the Blue Jackets are that use 2 defensemen on their first power play.
Werenski moves in and shoots. That rattles wide. Picked up now by Voracek. Voracek centers it. Tap back by Bjorkstrand to Boqvist. And now Boqvist works it back across. Werenski had that skip off his stick. Well, he spun himself around. That gave at least time to clear it down the ice. As Lilligan got a stick on that. 10 seconds to go in the Columbus power play. Jumping in is Domi. That's Domi centers it. That's tapped wide. As Sillinger got a stick on that. Now Domi shoots again. No shots for the Blue Jackets on that power play. 5 to go here in the opening period. Long pass for Bunting out of the box. In on Bean. Bunting spins. Puts it between his legs. They score to Matthews. What a pass by Bunting. And Matthews points at him right away.
What an incredible play by Michael Bunting, who takes a neutral zone slashing penalty, which the coaches don't love. And then he makes an amazing play out of the box. And the Leafs jump out 2-0. There's Matthews coming off the bench. The Blue Jackets don't react in time as they're focused, puck focused on Michael Bunting. Catch off the wall now, defend the puck. Nowhere to go. He sees Matthew coming, and he lays it in the crease. Matthews has got goals in 7 straight games, and the Leafs have a 2-0 lead.
And 9 goals in those 7 games. 4:45 to go here in the first period. And Bunting sets up Austin Matthews for a tap-in. His 16th of the year gives the Leafs a 2-0 lead on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN.
What a great play by Michael Bunting as he takes the pass from Morgan Riley. And then about here, he realizes Matthews is coming. He protects the puck away from Jake Bean. Bean's stick is not able to deny the pass, and as Gavrikov gets puck focused, here comes Matthews into the goal crease. He just gets enough of it to squeeze it under the arm of Merzlikins. That's 8 assists in the last 8 games, 11 points for Michael Bunting, and Matthews' roll continues.
And Morgan Riley now has 6 assists in his last 4 games, including 2 tonight. Bunting banks that back to Loyer. The long shot floats wide. That's moved by Rubich, but kept alive by Simmons. There's Peak with it. Across he goes to Gavrikov, and Simmons steps into him. Now picked off by Bunting again. Works back in and shoots. That was blocked by Gavrikov, and that hit him up high. Now Muzzin with it. That long shot rattles around. Simmons trying to get to it. And the puck dropped down to his feet. Danforth plays it across to Gavrikov. Shots are 15-4 Toronto. Bjorkstrand trying to move that by Muzzin. Comes steaming in. Bjorkstrand, a centering pass goes in behind Jenner. Now back at the point. Shot by Carlson's block. And back comes Camp the other way with Kasha and Ritchie jumping in. Carlson. Got it stripped away by Kasha. Centering pass. Ritchie scores! Nick Ritchie has his first of the Leaf. And it's 3-0 Toronto.
Said the Leafs have to guard against a low, letting points slip away that are there for the taking. What a great start for them. 16 and a half minutes, they're up 3-0. The forecheck is Kasha behind the net. He beats 2 Blue Jackets rather softly behind the net. As Carlson will get the puck taken from him. The puck slid out to Nick Ritchie, who's waited a long time for that. He's on the board in the Leaf, in a Leaf uniform, and it's 3-0.
His first goal since last May. His first goal in 29 regular season games. He did come in though with assists in 3 straight. That's a 4-game point streak for him now. And a 3-0 Leaf lead. That long shot by Roslovic goes off Campbell, up and out of play. Remember the playoff series, Ray, in 2020 here. Blue Jackets came back from 3-0 down to win Game 3. Leafs came back from 3-0 down to win Game 4.
Different cast of characters here behind the net. Carlson and Boquist get pushed off the puck by Kasha. Look how happy Kasha is that Ritchie's on the board. I tell you, that's a big relief for Nick Ritchie. You can only talk about, oh, he's doing really well, he's getting chances, I'm happy with the way he's playing for so long before you don't want to hear it anymore. Now he can zip that up and just move along.
Fired in by Rubich, and the crowd gives him a big round of applause. That's gloved down by Steves. In for Clifford. He was poke checked by Werenski. Down the line, Rubich stepped into Hoffman, and Engvall slides it back to Lonergan. In comes Clifford. He's got Steves in front. Now Steves back on it. Steve shoots, was off a skate. Clifford drops it back. Engvall, backhand shot, stopped in tight by Merzlikins. Back at the point is Hall. Long wrist shot, and Merzlikins gloves that.
That was a good stop for Merzlikins off of Engvall, or it would have been 4-0. Ritchie will get to the front of the net after he gives a little shove to Boquist behind the net. There's 3 Blue Jackets behind the net, and Ritchie is standing in front all alone. There's nobody in the vicinity. Easy pickings to beat Elvis Merzlikins in goal. And one of the critiques of the Blue Jackets is they're not very big. They can get pushed around on the puck. It's happened a couple of times tonight on the 3 goals. Twice, the Matthews goal, easy to the front of the net, and Ritchie all alone on the Kasha forecheck.
Peak goes back, being shadowed there by Matthews. Simmons steps hard into him. And here's Eric Robinson with it. He goes for Texier. And Texier fires that down to the Leaf zone as it's picked up by Riley. Rossi goes to Matthews. Matthews works in, drops it off to Riley, but the play's offside at the Columbus line.
On Sunday, Columbus came back to beat San Jose. They gave up 19 shots in the first period. They've already given up 18 here again tonight. As Brad Larson's group gets chasing the puck in their zone, and they just do not do a very good job of cleaning up the defensive zone, and they paid for it tonight.
Dave Beam plays it around, acquired from Columbus, Carolina by Columbus for a 2nd-round pick. As Riley shoots it off the inboards. Werenski with it. Werenski drops that back to Nyquist. It's picked off by Jenner. And the Blue Jackets break in 4-on-2. Beam slides that down to Jenner. That just missed him. Loose in the corner is Brody, but Jenner takes it back to the point to Werenski. Rossi goes to Bean, a long shot through the traffic. Jack Campbell makes the save.
Well, after a night off, after the game in Minnesota where Jack Campbell was fantastic in the 3rd period, made 22 saves to send that game to overtime. At the night off in Winnipeg, and probably happy he did the way that game went, but it's been an amazing season for Campbell, making his 20th start of the year. Never more than 26 games for Campbell. It's all going to be uncharted waters for him pretty quickly. He's handled everything exceptionally well so far this year.
His 10th straight home start. As you mentioned, Ray, his 20th start of the year. That's the first time he's done that before Christmas in his career. Picked off in the corner by Roslovic. Drops it back. Peak unloads. That hit Muzzin in the foot. And that staggered Jake Muzzin. Roslovic drops it back to Domi. Swings it down to Gavrikov. Shoots, and Campbell through the screen of Voracek makes the save. And
well, Ritchie is sour at Peak. They ran together on the sidewall. He was hunting him down a little bit through that shift. And then the Leaf bench is barking at Peak again here. As there's the Muzzin block. That looked like it caught him on the top of the foot. Oh yeah, just side of the right foot. Muzzin's going to head right to the locker room. You don't need that.
Off the draw. Danforth with a quick chance that hit Campbell in the mask. Now Werenski with it. Slides it across to Boqvist. Back to Werenski, being shadowed there by Steeves. And now Clifford up for Engvall. Pierre Engvall drops it off to Steeves. And that shot was partly blocked. Werenski looks ahead. Then finds Danforth with Hoffman. Danforth moves in, shoots, kicked out by Campbell. Danforth spins back in the corner. Muscled there by Brody. And the horn sounds with Werenski and the puck in the slot, but it's all Maple Leafs here in the opening period. A 3-0 lead, an 18-9 shot advantage as Ritchie gets his first with Toronto. Time now for a first intermission with James Duthie in the panel. It's his first as a Leaf, all scored. Couple of notes, the 18 shots, the most by the Maple Leafs in a first period this year. And John Tavares was 6-1 on draws. in that opening period. Gordon Miller back with Ray Ferraro. And Ray, we talked about the fact that the Leafs have 4 regulars out of the lineup, so those in would have to step up. The third and fourth lines have done that.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job. Of course, they get the first 2 goals from Nylander and Matthews up at the top end. But it was really impressive to watch how much contribution and danger offensively came from the bottom end of the lineup. Kyle Clifford had a terrific net drive off a Morgan Riley pass. Here's Alex Steeves in his first game coming around the back of the net, creating a chance. An excellent back check by Ondrej Kase, who comes across to deny a 3-on-2. He'll later get on the board offensively on the Ritchie goal. Engvall stopped in tight. So you look at the half a dozen players from the bottom 2 lines of your roster that had good first periods. Mix it in with Matthews and Nylander's goals, and you got a 3-0 first period lead.
Maple Leafs coming in with shootout loss and a regulation loss in Winnipeg. Their first back-to-back losses since the end of October. In comes Jenner with it. Boone Jenner, the Blue Jackets captain. Backhand that wide, native of Dorchester, Ontario. Now Bjorkstrand centers it, and that's fluttered towards the goal by Jenner. Picked up by Nyquist. He threw down Riley. Here's Jenner back with it. Banks the puck back at the point for Bean across Werenski. Shoots. Campbell didn't see that. Deflected wide off the stick of Jenner. And Matthews lifts the puck high in the air. Glove down by Nyquist, but picked off by Simmons. Then come the Leafs as Simmons had it poked away by Werenski. Up he goes to Bjorkstrand. And now Werenski across the line. Picked off by Matthews. Slides that pass neatly ahead for Simmons, who slides it back down to the Blue Jacket zone. Columbus missed the playoffs last year. Made the playoffs the 4 previous years. First time they put together 4 consecutive playoff seasons. Nylander works in, drops it back for the trailer. Kerfoot back for Nylander. And Nylander spins and shoots. Save made by Brzlikins. Rebound. Tavares backhands that wide. He fanned in the first one. And Roslovic back with it for Columbus. Banks that down to the Leaf zone as Muzzin back out there for Toronto after blocking that shot late in the first period. Gavrikov a long drive. That's knocked down. Tavares has Nylander ahead. Lead pass. William Nylander just out of his reach. And Brzlikins knocks that away. Here's Nylander back on it. Crisscrossing with Tavares. John Tavares drops it back, and that hard shot hammered wide by Timothy Liljegren, who's still looking for his first NHL goal in his 29th career game. He returned to the lineup against Winnipeg after being a healthy scratch the night before in Minnesota.
Endured these injuries, however Dermott's shoulder is, but certainly to Rasmus Sandin open up some injury opportunity for Liljegren to make a little bit of a foothold on a defense spot if he can play well here.
Carlson picked off that clearing net. Loose puck at the side of the goal. Campbell gets his glove down before Sillinger can poke that in. Sillinger back with it. Finds Boquist, little spin move in front of Ritchie. He falls. Now banked up by Camp to center ice. Moved ahead by Kasha. And Boquist back for it. Liljegren in across the line, but Ritchie was ahead of the play. It's called offside at the Blue Jackets line.
A couple of near misses for the Leafs in the first 3 minutes here. The shot's blocked in the slot, and Tavares double clutches and then has Nylander ahead of the pack. He just can't corral it, or he's got a breakaway. Earlier in the shift, after the Leafs throw the puck to the front of the net, man, Columbus does not cover the front of the net. Wide open is Kerfoot, and after he's wide open, there's Tavares just in front of Brzlikins as well.
Lead pass out of the reach of Nyquist. Knocks that back, and a shot by Bjorkstrand stopped by Campbell. Rebound loose at the side of the goal. Riley gets it back. Bjorkstrand tries to center it. Former player of the year in the Western Hockey League for the Portland Winterhawks. Native of Denmark. Here's Engvall back with it. To the point to Riley. Back across he goes to Brody. Moves in, holds. Tried to center it, that bounced away. Picked up now by Steeves. Alex Steeves, that long shot drifts wide. Picked up by Riley. Riley centers it. Clifford knocked that away. Brody holds the line for Toronto. Clifford spins it in deep. And Werenski waiting for it, being poke checked there by Matthews. Now that pass picked up by Simmons, finds Bunting, sends it down to Matthews. Centers it, Simmons shoots, saved by Bruce Lickens. And Bjorkstrand knocks that away. And Matthews tiptoes at the line, keeps the puck alive. And Bjorkstrand moves ahead. Centering pass knocked down by Hall. And moved ahead to Bunting. Michael Bunting to Austin Matthews. And now Peak back with it for the Blue Jackets. Muzzin for Simmons. Lays it in deep, and Gavrikov back for it. Corrali gains center ice and flips that down. Back goes Liljegren for it. Left for him by Campbell. Up quickly for Tavares. Nylander winds it across to Tavares. Throws that pass ahead, picked up by Gavrikov. And Robinson moves it ahead for Columbus. By Nylander, Robinson gets it back. Drops it out to Texier. Alex Texier around Liljegren. Swings it back to Gavrikov. Long wrist shot, hit a leg in front. Robinson, a backhand shot goes wide. And Liljegren plays it back across to Christian Rubin. His NHL debut had a couple of shots in the opening period. Nylander pokes it free, gets away from Domi. In with Tavares. William Nylander moving in, drops Tavares, shoots. Picked up by Bruce Lickens. Now a centering pass goes back to the point to Brody. Winds and shoots. That's deflected wide. That hit Gavrikov and staggered him. Gabriel Carlson for Gavrikov. The pass missed. He's limping noticeably. He's a long way from the Columbus bench. Ritchie across to Riley. Throws that down to the Blue Jacket zone. Back goes Carlson for it. And Carlson plays it across to Gavrikov. He's still stranded out there. Roslovic in on Brody. And the pass knocked down by Boquist. In the corner. He finds Voracek. The pass knocked away by Kemp and picked up by Kasha. Roger Kasha. Lead pass for Kemp. He finds Riley. Back for Kemp. Long time between whistles here in this second period. Just over 6 gone. Leafs with a 3-0 lead. Toronto has Tampa here on Thursday. The Chicago Blackhawks on Saturday. Danforth. Pumped by Hall. Kept alive by Steves. And Boquist drops it back. Hoffman in across the line. Got bumped there by Hall. Muzzin back for it. And Engvall back with it. He's got Clifford up ahead. Lead pass for Clifford in behind Peak. Engvall comes in, but the play is called offside at the Blue Jackets line. Nick Ritchie has his first as a Toronto Maple Leaf. A 3-0 lead here in the second period.
The Leafs get the first goal of the season from Nick Ritchie. It's a 5G view. Ritchie's out in front all alone. And his stick is a 1.5 feet away from where the goalie is square to. So Ritchie's able to take one stride and bury it in the net. And it's a 3-0 Leaf lead.
TSN 5G view gives you the ability to control the angle on every play, zoom in and out, and rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G view for more info. Here's Bunting across to Simmons. That's poked away by Gavrikov. Lead pass for Texier. Alex Texier. Bumped there by Rubinch. And the puck loose in the corner. Batted up by Corrali. Flug has lost his stick. Quickly gathers that back up. Pete goes back across. Gavrikov shoots. That's tipped by Robinson. And Campbell steers that away. Scooped up now by Bunting. Along with Simmons and Matthews jumping in as well. Simmons lays that down to the Columbus zone. Bunting goes after it. Simmons crisscrossing with Matthews. A centering pass just out of Matthews' reach. Back at the point is Hall. Bunting plays it down. Now it's picked up by Simmons away from Gavrikov. In for Matthews. Matthews spins away and gathers up the loose puck. Matthews drops it back to Hall. Now Bunting. Down to Hall. Works it back in front. Matthews couldn't get that shot away. Gavrikov had him tied up. Matthews back with it. Poke checked away by Texier, and Matthews ranges back to pick up the loose puck. And the long long shoot-in will be called icing against the Maple Leafs.
As world champion, I prepared to win. I still do today. Every game starts at bet99.net.
Matthews was the overtime hero for Toronto in that Game 4 against the Blue Jackets back in the 2020 playoffs. Erased a 3-0 lead with less than 4 to go in the third period to win it in overtime 4-3. Now Domi centers it, that's knocked away and picked up by Tavares. Across he goes to Hall. Fires that down to the Blue Jacket zone. There's Lickens, plays it around. That's picked up by Nylander. Centers it. Kerfoot got a tick on the. That is stopped by Lickens on a great deflection by Kerfoot.
The Blue Jackets have 2 forwards outside of the zone here. And you see Roslovic coming back into the play, and that opens up all kinds of room for Nylander to make this pass to Kerfoot. Again, not to belabor the point, but there's nobody in the picture with Kerfoot, and he forces Merzlikins into a difficult save.
Played back in by Riley. Nylander to Kerfoot. And Kerfoot pivots back in the corner. Spins away from Bean. And now Kerfoot falls and Bean picks it up. Being a gold medalist for Canada, the 2018 World Junior Championship in Buffalo. And again, the lead pass for Kerfoot knocked away by Merzlikins. Almost another break there for Toronto. In comes Bjorkstrand for Columbus. Walks in and shoots. Campbell makes the stave. And once again, a deflection, this time by Jenner. Kerfoot had lost his stick. Riley pivots back in the corner and plays it across to Brody. Jenner. Drops it back to Carlson. And Jenner fires that wide. At the point, it's Boqvist picking it up. Adam Boqvist winds his way in the centering pass is blocked by Brody. Boqvist plays it across, and that shot hammered wide by Hoffman. Danforth collided with the official. And now Nylander has it taken away by Jenner. Slides that down to Nyquist. And just as Nyquist had his pass blocked there by Brody. Danforth knocked down by Riley. And a penalty coming to Toronto for that one. And Riley has a word with Danforth on the way by. And now for the official. And the Blue Jackets will go to the power play. Nyquist jumps it across the Toronto line. Drops that back for Domi. Extra skaters on for Columbus. Voracek works in. Voracek for Boqvist. That pass just missed. Nyquist with it now. Leafs can't gain possession. Werenski gathers it up. Drops the puck back to Voracek. Rink wide he goes. To Domi. Voracek winds it across, and a shot taken by Boqvist. Campbell makes the save. The puck goes out of play, and the Blue Jackets will go to the power play with 9:44 to go in the second period. It's a cross-checking call to Morgan Riley. It was 25 years ago that Canada won a 5th straight gold medal at the World Junior Championship, and that man, Brad Larson, was the team captain at that tournament in Geneva, and that team had to be pretty good, Ray. Joe Thornton was the 13th forward on that club.
A young Joe Thornton.
Yes, an unbearded Joe Thornton. Larson, his first year as the coach of the Blue Jackets, that shot is blocked. 7 years as an assistant. Picked up by Voracek. Swings it back to Werenski. Back Werenski winds it back for Voracek. Swings that rink wide. That pass knocked away from Boqvist by Kasha. In behind the goal, Muzzin turns it over to Werenski. Rink wide, he goes to Boqvist, and Boqvist shoots. Saved by Campbell. Rebound. Oh, what a stop by Campbell. He takes one away from Oliver Bjorkstrand. What a save.
And he's getting the pats this time. He's usually giving it to his defenseman. Campbell makes an unbelievable reaction stop. Boqvist can shoot the puck. 2 goals the last game out against San Jose. Campbell makes his shoulder save. He shrugs it to his left, and look at him push strong with his right foot to get across to catch the Bjorkstrand rebound. A remarkable stop by Jack Campbell.
And Jake Muzzin made sure he gave him a pat as well after the giveaway. So the big eraser from Jack Campbell. Werenski throws that ahead, but the pass on the wrong side of center ice. Icing call, the faceoff back down to the Columbus zone.
It's been this kind of year for Campbell. Every time he's needed something big, he's found it. This shot hits him in the shoulder, but he knows and feels where that rebound is. Watch that push with his right leg, strong across, and then the glove save to take it away from Boquist.
Logan back to Brody. Back down to Kerfoot. And Werenski finally chips it ahead to Bjorkstrand. Oliver Bjorkstrand. In across the line now, winds in, holds and shoots. Campbell swats that away. Bjorkstrand back to Boquist. Across he goes, Werenski. Kicks it across to Voracek. And the long shot by Werenski just wide. Logan plays that but not out. It's swept back to the point to Werenski. Werenski centers it. Jenner trying for Bjorkstrand. A backhand shot. Score!
Well, I guess that evens out, doesn't it? Bjorkstrand had no idea that this puck went through Campbell's legs. He's only had 10 shots in a 7-game goalless drought. He's right in the middle. He catches it on the backhand. He just shovels it. You can see Campbell can barely see it. I don't think you can see it at all, really. And he ends up just a sliver of room between his legs. And Oliver Bjorkstrand has made it 3-1 moments after being absolutely robbed by Campbell.
So the 7th of the year for Bjorkstrand. Last year scored 18. That projects to a 26-goal year, which would have been a career high for him. So the power play goal for the Blue Jackets gets them back in the game, down 3-1. Simmons gets away from Gavrikov and backhands that back down to the Columbus zone. And Merzlikins gloves that and hangs on.
On this last power play, it was an unbelievable save off of Bjorkstrand by Jack Campbell, and then moments later, once the Blue Jackets get set in the zone, nowhere to go on his backhand, so he just shovels it at the net. And he reacts so late because he doesn't know what's in, but it's behind Campbell.
Now Brody fires it in, that skips off the dasher up and out. Bjorkstrand was a really highly decorated player before getting to the NHL, Ray. He was the Western League Player of the Year, as we mentioned. He was the playoff MVP for Lake Erie when they won the Calder Cup American League Championship in 2016, but it hasn't quite translated to the NHL level yet. He had his best year last year, as we mentioned, with the 18 goals.
23 and 22 the previous two. It always seems just a little bit off of what you expect from him, though.
And just 1 assist in 7 games coming in. A big goal here in the second period to get the Blue Jackets back in it. Now Matthews spun around by Peak. And the puck dug free by Corrali. Sean Corrali, a Columbus area native, had that knocked away. And Matthews almost stole that pass. Long pass by Peak to center ice to Corrali. Back across he goes to Texier. Shoots off the end of Campbell's glove. Up and out of play.
Next few minutes are dangerous here for Toronto. A game you've thoroughly dominated. Had a multitude of grade A chances. Now you give up a power play goal and Columbus feels okay about themselves even though they're down a couple. You can't let them back in the game here. This is where you have to find that second gear again. See if you can hem them in and take away a little bit of life.
Off the draw, Tavares wins another one. Now swatted towards the goal by Voracek. Rink-wide pass goes back to Voracek. Skipped away from him. Roslovic reaches for it back at the point. And that shot by Bean deflects wide. Werenski steps up yet again. Roslovic slides that back to Voracek. His shot block goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Voracek doesn't shoot the puck much, but man, can he pass it. 18 assists on the year. If you're on the ice with him and you get yourself open, his pass will find you.
And you look at the all-time point list for Czech-born players. Voracek number 5.
I think Patrick Elias is a Hall of Famer. What do you think?
Yep. He made a lot of people rich, I'll tell you. Anyone who played in his wing had a big year.
Yeah, unless they needed him to play in the wing, so then he played there. Like, he was just an amazing player.
Really one of the most underappreciated players of his era is Richardson. Shoots, kicked out, rebound! That's fired wide by Kemp, and picked up by Werenski. Up ahead for Jenner. Kemp with it. Knocked down by Bean, but Kasha gets it back. Swings it back, but it's picked off by Jenner. Up ahead to Hoffman. In comes Hoffman on Rubich. Drops it back. Werenski streaking and shoots off the outside of the post. There's Werenski again.
Campbell shakes his head as that one rings off the post.
And 6 to go here in the second period. First regular season meeting between these two since October of 2019. Now Engvall reaching for it. Clifford chips it ahead to Steves. And the speedy Alex Steves comes in for it and gathers up the loose puck. His pass back out of the reach of Brody, who swings back to the Leaf line to pick it up. Steves with it once again. Brings it across to Riley. There's Lickens, plays it around, but that's knocked down by Steves. Pushed down by Sillinger. Boquist spins back. Clifford stepped into him. Now Carlson. Up for Sillinger, who flips that down to the Leaf line, but it's picked off by Riley, and now brought ahead by Simmons. Simmons got spun around the line, and Bunting had to leave it, or it would have been too many men. Nyquist moves in and shoots. Campbell makes the stop and hangs on to that. Blue Jackets get one and almost another. Werenski rings one off the pipe on Molson. Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN.
Winnipeg in 1995, but Max Domi grew up here in Toronto. Father Ty was traded to the Maple Leafs shortly after he was born. Max hasn't played here since October 2019. He was greeted warmly by arena ushers this morning. They still remember what it was like seeing him running around this building as a kid. Domi says this will always be a special stop for him, guys.
Part of that gold medal in 2015.
Yep.
What an unbelievable final game that was. Maybe one of the most electric atmospheres that I've ever been involved around. Like, we were doing that game board. Remember, it was 5-1 Canada.
Yeah.
Then it's 5-4. Gavrikov was a monster in that tournament, and Domi, Reinhart, and Duclair were just sensational for Canada. They had that young guy too, that McDavid fella, that got going later in the tournament.
And we'll see the next generation in a few weeks' time in Edmonton and Red Deer. In comes Hall with it. Drops it off to Simmons. Simmons shoots, that deflects, and it drops right behind him and bounces wide. Lickens kind of swatted at that. It bounced funny behind him, went off his arm and trickled just wide. Now Simmons back with it. Drops it off, that's ticked away by Beam. That was strange. In comes Matthews. Swings that rink wide, knocked away by Roslovic. Nylander goes back with the pass, bounces away. Robinson chips it ahead, and Kerfoot has it back to line here with Eric Robinson. Bean moves it ahead to Robinson. And now scooped up by Kerfoot. For Tavares, who chips it out, and Texier drives it back. Back down to the Leafs zone. Campbell leaves it there for Liljegren. 3.5 to go here in the second period. Leafs with a 3-1 lead. That pass for Corrali out of his reach. Liljegren goes back and Hoffman on him. Liljegren skates it ahead. Off a stick and wide. Now Nylander with it. Tied up by Gavrikov, but he couldn't find it in his feet. And now Pete back with it. Gavrikov swings that back. Campbell out to play with Jenner rushing in. Liljegren collided with him, but Jenner pokes it around to Hoffman. Back to Jenner, loose behind the goal. Jen plays side of the goal. Campbell gets his pad down. And the referee right on top of it, Kendrick Nicholson. But Campbell holds his post.
That's a strong play by Jack Campbell. This is Gavrikov who takes this shot that rolls around the boards, and now Domi's off to the races in the gold medal game of 2015. They scored 2 of their first 3 shots on Shesterkin, who was pulled, and then Sorokin came in relief, but Canada held on. A 5-1 lead for a 5-4 gold medal victory.
Nick Ritchie, a member of that Canadian team. You mentioned Connor McDavid. Braden Point is a big part of that club. 6 years ago. Goes fast. Kasha moves in. He's tied up in the corner by Sillinger, whose dad was a gold medalist for Canada at the 1991 World Junior in Saskatoon. He, Stephen Rice, and Chris Draper got the checking assignment in the last game on Pavel Bure, who came in with 27 goals in 20 games in 3 World Juniors. They held him without a point. Oh, look out, that bounced away from Merzlikins, and Boqvist cleaned that up.
Now Mike Sillinger just cleans you out with his putting stroke.
Yes, so I understand.
Oh, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, Engvall moving in. That's deflected wide. Joel Sillinger, born in Columbus, but his dad played for 4 more teams after that. Here's Hall with it. Up to center ice. Engvall drops it back to Steeves, who was knocked off stride with a slash. And that's going to be a penalty against the Blue Jackets as Bjorkstrand goes off, and the Leafs got a power play with 1:35 to go in the second.
Columbus, number 28, 2-minute minor penalty for tripping.
Power play goal earlier, now a tripping penalty here. As he takes down Steeves in the middle of the ice. Power plays 1 for 2.
Matthews leads the way with 6 power play goals this year. There's Nylander. Back for Riley with a shot, scored! Tipped in front by Tavares. And the Leafs regain their 3-goal lead.
Morgan Riley's got 3 assists tonight. It's his point shot that Tavares is going to tip in. Starts again, as it does so often with a Tavares face-off win. Riley wafts this to the net, and there's the tip. Right in the slot. Tavares changes directions. It beats Merzlikins, and it's a 4-1 Leaf lead.
12th year for Tavares. Back they come again. Matthews shoots, scores! Austin Matthews with a lightning strike for Toronto.
Oh, it looks easy sometimes for Austin Matthews. Just 7 seconds after John Tavares made it 4-1. Matthews makes it 5-1. They head to center ice. They drop the puck. Merzlikins is just cleaning the crease in front of him. A puck battle won here by the Leafs, and by Bunting to win it to Riley. That's 4 assists for Morgan Riley. And Matthews has his 2nd tonight.
Riley now with 8 assists in his last 4 games. Austin Matthews in his last 83 home games has 72 goals.
That's just like ridiculous to think about.
Now Voracek moves in. That was blocked by Brody. So the goals 7 seconds apart. And the Leafs, who had some nervous moments with a Columbus power play and a goal post, leg it out now with a 5-1 lead. 39 seconds to go in the second period.
And everything we said they needed at the start of the game, they've come through with. Their big boys have scored. Nylander's got a couple of points, a goal and an assist on the power play. Riley's got the 4 helpers, 2 goals for Austin Matthews. And now it's a pretty comfortable 40 minutes of hockey for the Leafs.
Played back down in the Blue Jackets zone. So they're still announcing the Tavares goal. Better hurry, the period's going to run out here. Sillinger across the line. Sillinger swings it back in deep for Nyquist. Banks that back to Boqvist. Boqvist shoots. And that goes off a leg and wide. Final second, though, a centering pass goes off the skate of Brody and wide. Knocked down by Steves at center ice. He's belted down by Carlson. In comes Engvall. And at the horn, he whistles that wide. And Boqvist has a word with him. But the Maple Leafs with a couple of quick strikes late in that period. A 5-1 lead after 40 minutes. Time for our second intermission with your host, James Duffy.
All right, thank you, Gord. The panel will be by to talk about that late rush by the Leafs. Plus, we have the Jason Spezza suspension. It's just come in. Darren Drager with the latest on that. We'll look around the National Hockey League. Jacob Slavin and the Hurricanes taking on the Jets. That's one of the games we'll show you next.
Back in the game, but then the goal 7 seconds apart for Tavares and Matthews is 17th, and Toronto has a 5-1 lead. Austin Matthews has tied a career high. Ray Ferraro with a 7-game goal scoring streak, and Morgan Riley with 4 assists in the game has tied a career high for assists and points in a single game. And that brings us to our EA Sports X Factor performer of the game.
And it is Morgan Riley. You mentioned the 4 helpers for Riley. The last Leaf defenseman to have 5 assists in a game, way back to 1978, October the 14th. Boreas Alming had 5 against the New York Islanders. Riley's got 4 through 2 periods tonight. What was a close game at 3-1 spread way out with these 2 goals 7 seconds apart. Riley involved in the both, and a 5-1 Leaf lead. I love this pass he makes right through the gut here in the pickup by Matthews, who buries his second.
The score of that game back in 1978 was 10-7 in favor of the Leafs.
Of course it was.
Daniel Tarasov now in goal for the Blue Jackets, making his 3rd appearance of the year. There's a couple of losses so far. The Blue Jackets didn't give him a lot of goal support. They scored just 3 goals in his 2 starts.
Played very well by all accounts in both of them.
That long shot knocked wide by Campbell. 10-7 games. Those were the days, right?
Yeah, and no video.
Bjorkstrand shoots at the flex wide. Werenski now back at the point. Hoffman plays it across. Score! Jake Bean from the point. Gets it by Campbell, and it's 5-2.
Second period in a row that the Blue Jackets had a good first shift. Not sure if this was tipped by Bjorkstrand or not. Bean will take the quick one-time shot. Yeah, it's tipped by Bjorkstrand to the left of Jack Campbell. So Bjorkstrand's got a pair, and it's 5-2.
Early in my career, I was at an 11-9 game between Chicago and Edmonton in Chicago. Pat Foley, the legendary Hawks broadcaster, said we scored 9 goals on home ice and we're never in the game.
Just think of that, 11-9.
It was like 5-1, 7-2.
Well, the game I scored my first goal in, we lost in Montreal 10-5. And coach told me after I had 2 goals and 2 assists, he said, son, you were a threat at both ends of the ice.
Tavares with it up for Nylander.
The late Jack Evans, what a character he was.
Jack Evans' coaching tree is quite impressive, actually. All the guys that came out of Hartford.
Yeah, it wasn't Harvard.
No.
There was none of us at Harvard.
In comes Roslovic, just out of his reach. Voracek plays it back at the point. Moved in by Carlson. Now Roslovic back with it. Cross he goes to Domi. Domi drops it back. Shot by Boqvist goes wide, and here's Willigan back with it. Away from Roslovic. Across the camp, drops it back. In comes Ritchie, shoots. Save made by Tarasov. He gave up Alex Ovechkin's 750th NHL goal the other night. Ovechkin also played against his dad
for 4 years
in the precursor to the KHL, the old Russian Super League. In comes Alex Steeves on it now in his NHL debut. Steeves shoots, and Tarasov will gobble that up with Engvall looking for the loose puck.
The Blue Jackets actually moved the puck pretty quickly here. Sidewalls Werenski to Hoffman. He's going to slide it across the beam, and there's nobody really in good enough position. Everybody's kind of in the vicinity. Nobody really gets to the position to block the shot or Matthews to tie up Bjorkstrand, who's able to deflect it by Jack Campbell.
Now kept alive at the line. Danforth feeds it across, and the shot cued wide by Sillinger. And here's Riley with it. Morgan Riley lifts it high in the air. Patted ahead by Werenski, but it's a hand pass called at the Columbus line. So Maple Leafs back in action here on Thursday night. We'll have it for you on TSN starting at 6:30 Eastern time as they take on the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning on TSN 4 on Molson Canadian Leafs hockey.
The Leafs, or rather the Lightning, continue to put wins on the board without Braden Point or Nikita Kucherov.
Simmons a quick shot there. Tarasov makes the save. They are something else, aren't they? Well, you start with the goal. When you have the goalie, the defenseman, and the forward.
Not so bad. Stamkos back playing at a level that he hasn't gotten to over injury the last few years.
Icing called against the Maple Leafs here in the third period.
The Blue Jackets will try to claw their way back in, and the Leafs just have to grind away here. This is the game you can fall asleep in pretty quick.
Well, you know, it was the Blue Jackets who swept out the Lightning in the first round of the playoffs in 2019. Tampa Bay had that record-setting season, and John Cooper made comments that would resonate with Leaf fans. It was the next season was not a lost season. It was not just a sleepwalk to the playoffs to redeem yourself. They wanted to change the way they did things and prove a point during the regular season, which they did. They won the next 2 Stanley Cups. Domi in, shoots, he fired that wide. And a race for it now. Nylander gets there, pokes it ahead, trying to find Kerfoot just out of his reach. Werenski up for Domi. Rink wide to Voracek. Voracek dances across the line, threads that pass ahead for Domi. It bounced off his stick. Voracek swings that back to Peak with a shot. Campbell save. Rutherford couldn't reach it, and Campbell gets the blade of his stick on that attempt by Jake Bean.
Why? That's a dozy start here for the Leafs. Dangerous again. I mean, you've got the game by the shirt collar here. You don't want to let it go.
Bouncing puck. Campbell knocks that down. He'll pounce on the loose puck as Corrali was looking for that.
Celebrating progress. Meet the new, fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron. Future is an attitude.
Jack Campbell takes a sip of water. Here's his latest. It's the shot from Jake Bean. It's right on the pipe, and Campbell's going to turn, flatten his stick out, and make another stop.
Pass misfired. Tarasov sweeps that away from an on-rushing Kasha. Moved ahead by Boqvist. Now Riley back across to Brody. C.J. Brody wraps it back down to the Columbus zone and gets by Tarasov. Kasha swings it down now. Scooped up by Carlson for Boqvist. And in comes Sillinger. Cole Sillinger across for Danforth. Danforth shoots. He fired that wide. Steeves winds in and taps it ahead. Werenski Turns it over, and a quick chance there for Clifford, stopped by Tarasov. So we mentioned that Cole Sillinger's dad, Mike, spent 18 years in the NHL for 12 different teams. That's a record. Also, the 9 trades were a record. And in his second last full year in the league, Ray, in 2007-2008, there was the 2 degrees of Mike Sillinger. Every player in the NHL had either played with him or had a teammate who had played with Mike Sillinger.
It's a pretty remarkable career. A long time to play, and a lot of times he got picked up around the deadline.
Yeah.
You know, he's a specialist. He could win face-offs, and
12 teams.
His den must look fantastic. It's got to look like a sporting goods store.
Well, the Players Association gives you a plaque, right? Oh, look out, that shot was blocked by Jenner. A plaque with all your team logos on it. His must be the size of the wall.
That's a billboard. Silly, he is a good guy, man. Is he funny? What a great personality.
Clifford moves out ahead. Bean goes after it. Left it there for Werenski. Zach Werenski. Here he comes again. Jumps it across the line, but Corrali was ahead of the play, and it's offside at the Toronto line.
We talked earlier about the minutes that Zach Werenski plays. Is up near the top of the league. He's learning to manage those minutes. Man, he gets the puck, and the green light is on. It is up the ice almost any chance he can get. A creative skater with the puck.
Peak fires it down. They're going to have that skip off his stick. Corrali centers it, but it's picked off by Bunting. Matthews up ahead. That's knocked away by Gavrikov. Does it again for Robinson. He swings that down to the Toronto zone. Campbell out to play it across for Rubinch in his NHL debut. And the lead pass to Bunting. Chips it across to Matthews. Stays on side. Takes a return pass. Here comes Bunting for it, and it's knocked away by Gavrikov. Robinson comes in. Picked up by Nylander. Up for Tavares. Back to William Nylander. Nylander streaking in. Has a look. And Carlson poked that away. Nylander back on it. Holds in the corner. Slides it back for Riley. The pass missed him, and he's back to the Leaf line. Tavares trying to work that free. Roslovic stepped into him. And Boqvist finds Roslovic. Lead pass for Roslovic. In shoots. Campbell to stop on that. Another chance at the side of the goal. Domi drops it back to Bean. Off the bench comes Werenski. In shoots, and Campbell gets an arm on that to knock it up but out of play. 5-2 the Leafs lead here in the third period on Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN.
To make it 4-1, you'll see some puck movement. John Tavares setting up shop in the middle of the ice. The Riley point shot is not a hard one, but it's quick. It's not blocked, and there's Tavares with the deflection that Verzlickens can't catch up to. 4-1 Leafs. Tavares power play goal.
TSN 5G View gives you the ability to control the angle on every play, zoom in and out, and rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G View for more info. 4 goals in his last 7 games. And winning about 59% of his draws this year. Having a great night tonight. That's kicked back. Don't want a chance off the draw. Bergstrand had that knocked away, and it's scooped up by Tavares, who's played with a high stick, and play is called.
Tavares so good on that draw. He can go a couple of different ways. He's strong on the backhand, yet when he gets onto his forehand side, he's able to get his wrists over top of the puck, and he can shovel it to the boards. Tough to beat a guy that can go both forehand and backhand on the draw.
He's 10-2 tonight on the faceoff. This one scramble goes back to the blue line. Bean tries to play it across, picked up by Nylander. Away with Kerfoot. In comes Kerfoot on it. He watched there by Werenski. Kerfoot swings it down to Nylander. Tavares gets to it. In the corner for Hall. Hall down to Nylander.
Let it go, let it go,
It's bumped there by Bean, picked up by Werenski. Werenski swings it across. Bjorkstrand had that pass blocked by Muzzin. Trying to chip that back ahead for Nylander. Now Nylander moves in. On Werenski. And Peak plays it back around. The long pass for Jenner. Jenner bats it in. Jenner scored 30 goals back in 2015-2016. He hasn't scored 20 in the season since. Rubich fires that down. Picked up by Kampf. Back for Liljegren. Brings it back around. Ritchie was spilled in front by Peak. Now here's Kasha with it. Kampf comes in to help out. 3 Leafs below the goal line. Tomey picks up a loose puck. Domi up ahead for Roslovic, who chips out ahead, but it's picked off by Ritchie coming back. And away comes Domi, jumping it across the line. Shoots, that deflects wide. Rubich plays it back across for Liljegren. Chips it ahead to Kasha. And the Blue Jackets are changing, and Tarasov makes the save. He reached back to make sure he had it and gets a stoppage.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward save for Tarasov, who you mentioned, Gord, had played really well in his first couple of starts. Kasha's going to have room to shoot this puck, and it goes right between his legs. He has to find it somewhere underneath that pad. He knows it's there somewhere.
It's funny how they know.
I don't know how they can feel it, but they sense it maybe. Of course, they've had thousands of shots that have hit them over their lives. They got a good idea where the puck is.
Engvall had that batted away from him. Clifford drops it back to Riley. That's picked off and moved ahead by Danforth. Danforth in on the forecheck. Up there by Riley, and Steeves has it back for Toronto. Swings it back to Riley, banks it there to Brody as we approach the midway point of the third period. Riley rattles that high off the glass. Clifford back on it. Centering pass got through, dropped back by Matthews. Simmons in. Matthews just missed the return pass.
Oh, it's a great pass from Simmons. I don't think Matthews saw it clean. It just hit the end of his stick.
Now Campbell hangs on to that as Robinson was bearing in. And I think this is going to be a ruling that Campbell throws that puck on a long shot, so the Leafs will not be able to change.
Simmons will make a nice look here, and through the defenseman he passes to Matthews, and Matthews just doesn't get enough on it. It just hits the end of his stick, or he's got a third one.
Muzzin lead pass for Simmons. Up ahead for Bunting, that's knocked down by Werenski. Up ahead for Jenner, the pass out of his reach, and icing called against the Blue Jackets.
2 goals from 2 different spots on the ice, and Matthews has almost got a third as he just turns and Robinson bounces off him. He doesn't turn with him. He leaves arguably the most dangerous shooter in the game alone in front of the net, and he just misses tipping in a third one.
Simmons across the line, crisscrossing with Bunting. Werenski stepped into him, but Bunting keeps it alive. Down to Matthews, who shields off Bean. Austin Matthews pivots back again. Bean falls. And Bjorkstrand has it back for Columbus. Up ahead to Werenski. Banks it by Muzzin, but Hall knocks it out of harm's way and out to center ice. Jason Spezza handed a 6-game suspension by the NHL for the incident on Sunday night in Winnipeg. He won't be eligible to return until the Leafs game in Seattle on December 19th. Roslovic across the line. Drops it back to Voracek. Voracek winds in, shoots, pad save by Campbell. And Kerfoot back the other way. 8:45 to go in the third period. Leafs with a 5-2 lead on Columbus. A pair of goals 7 seconds apart late in the second period. Toronto the cushion. Now Tavares in with Kerfoot. Riley jumping in as well. Tavares holds, swings it back across. The pass out of the reach of Riley. And Gavrikov throws it back to center ice. Voracek couldn't handle that pass. And squeezes off Brody. Loose at center ice for Kampf. And David Kemp sends it in, goes hunting for the loose puck. Tarasov. High around the glass. Now Brody reaching back. He had Robinson bearing in on him. As Riley gains center ice and fires it down to the Columbus zone. Boquist clearing attempt, knocked down by Kasha. Ritchie feeds that down. Kemp in, shoots. Tarasov save. Loose puck in front. Corrali knocks it away. Kasha back with it. Steps around Boquist. Back to Rubinch. Long wrist shot knocked away by Tarasov. Count. A lot of there with Voracek and falls. Corrali back the other way for Columbus. Drops it off to Robinson. Walks in, shoots. That's blocked. Rebound side of the goal. Scooped up by Kemp. And Boquist swings back for the loose puck. 7.5 to go in the third period. Boquist across the line, but it's offside. 5-2. Toronto leads on Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN. Here tonight with us, TSN football analyst Dwayne Ford with his daughter Peyton. Dwayne, a two-time Grey Cup champion, would like you to know too that his Western Mustangs won the Vanier Cup on the weekend. His daughter named after Walter Payton. Here's Hall with it. That's center ice picked up by Engvall. Across the line, Engvall battles for it in the corner. Steve's trying to help out. And now Clifford has it knocked down by Werenski. So Alex Steves checking a lot of boxes this year. Signs a free agent deal with the Maple Leafs. Plays well in the American League. Gets his first NHL game in before Christmas.
And you just keep working away. You never know when the opportunity will arise and what the opportunity will come from. Who would have thought it's Jason Spezza's suspension? It's Mitch Marner getting hurt at practice.
Riley shoots, goes off the pipe. He came that close to a career-high 5th point. Simmons back with it. Being watched by Werenski, plays it down to Matthews. Austin Matthews. Slides it back to Riley. Another shot kicked away by Tarasov. And Simmons has it knocked away and played back out by Sillinger. In comes Bunting with Columbus changing. He's poke checked by Werenski. And Sillinger counterattacks. In comes Sillinger. Shoots. That's wide of the goal. Picked up by Peak. He's poke checked by Liljegren. Rubinch drops that back to Nylander. And the Leafs completing a change here as Nylander drops it back to Liljegren. Now the pass broken up, brought in by Bjorkstrand, cutting for a hat trick, but that's stolen back by Tavares. Lead pass for Kerfoot. He's tied up as he goes back with Gavrikov. Stolen now by Tavares. Shovels out to the front. It's picked off and brought out by Hoffman. The general long shot. That whistled wide. Hoffman back on it. Gustav Nyquist moved off his top line for Columbus as Hoffman moves up. And Boquist goes back. In the corner, Tavares finds Kerfoot. Kerfoot still with it. Throws it back in front. Just missed Kasha with that pass. And now Jenner back the other way with Domi. And the lead pass through the middle to Carlson. Gabriel Carlson rolls that wide. Voracek back to Boquist. To Voracek. Drops it off. Domi. Centering pass knocked down by Tavares. And Tavares backhands it out. Next Domi back for it. Will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. Acquired in the Josh Anderson trail. Voracek was knocked down at center ice, and that centering pass goes just wide. Here's Kasha back with it. Kasha down to Ritchie. Ritchie shields off Boquist. Kasha's centering pass goes back to Riley. Morgan Riley feeds that down to Kasha. Riley shoots! Stopped by Tarasov. Kasha back with it. Moved out by Bean to Domi. Up ahead for Roslovic. That pass broken up. Riley back with it. Slings it back down to the Columbus zone. That was off the linesman. And now a chance in front for Clifford, but the play was offside. at the Columbus line. Morgan Riley gunning for a career-high 5th point. Comes this close. Right, Peyton? Back here in Toronto, Morgan Riley and Austin Matthews talking it over on the Toronto bench.
That's a couple of good nights right there.
No kidding, huh? 7-game goal scoring streak for Matthews. 4 assists for Riley, who has 8 his last 4 games. At center ice, Steves for Clifford, who flips that down. Steves goes after the loose puck. Corrali moves that ahead for Texier, knocked down by Rubich. Now centered, Engvall reaching for it, and Robinson bangs it back ahead for Texier. He's got Corrali with him. Texier for Corrali in front, shoots and scores. Flips it by Jack Campbell, and it's now 5-3 with 3:35 to go in the 3rd period.
It's a really good play by Texier because he doesn't have an angle for the pass. And Corrali just steams to the front of the net. This puck gets chipped up the boards, and you're going to see Corrali come from behind Texier straight up the middle of the ice. And as Steves tries to hold his stick on the back check, there's the 2 call-ups, Rubich and Steves. Corrali just goes right underneath it, stronger than Steves, and he's able to chip that on the short side past Corrali, or past Jack Campbell.
So 3.5 to go. Now a 2-goal Toronto lead. Muzzin steps harder than Nyquist. And Simmons pounds it back down to the Columbus zone. Pete goes back for it. Bouncing puck to Nyquist. Out there with Hoffman and Danforth. Danforth tries to ring that around the pass, broken up by Hall. And Hall to head for Simmons. To Bunting, he was poke checked there by Bean. And now Hoffman gathers it up and goes back to Pete.
And there goes Tarasov.
Yeah.
So 3 minutes left. The Jackets have the net empty.
Early pull for Brad Larson. First-year head coach of the Blue Jackets. In comes Voracek with it now. 6 skaters on 5 for the Blue Jackets. Picked up by Nylander. Flips a rolling puck down the ice, and it goes wide. Icing called against Toronto. Time now for tonight's high-performance part, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.
The goal streak continues.
9 in those 7 games, the longest goal-scoring streak in the NHL this season. As we mentioned earlier, 72 goals his last 83 home games. Hard shot taken there by Werenski, deflects wide. Jenner around to Domi. Max Domi centers it, bouncing puck at the line, kept alive by Werenski. Down to Voracek, who tips it there to Domi. Domi to Voracek. Back across he goes. Boqvist for Voracek. Voracek to the goal mouth, and Domi slid that through the crease and wide. Werenski plays it back in deep for Bjorkstrand. Domi swings that back to Voracek. 2 to go here in the 3rd period. Bouncing puck, poked ahead again by Boqvist, reaching his Hall to knock that back to center ice. And Boqvist goes back for the loose puck. Werenski drops it back. Boqvist gains center ice. That shooting just missed the head of referee Kendrick Nicholson. Domi taken down. Bjorkstrand reaching for it. At the line, Boqvist pokes that ahead. It's picked up by Tavares. John Tavares gains center ice and shoots. Werenski blocked it, and Boqvist has it back. Lead pass for Bjorkstrand. Toronto's changing. Bjorkstrand shoots from a sharp angle. Campbell makes the stop and is able to hang on.
Pretty well defended by the Leafs, even with the goalie out, while Columbus has possession, and they're going to get to the puck on the outside. Nothing really develops in the middle of the ice where Campbell has to be on alert.
Bjorkstrand, by the way, has never had an NHL hat trick. He has 13 career 2-goal games. And now the Blue Jackets will call timeout. 80 seconds to go here in the 3rd period.
Timeout, Columbus.
Austin Matthews is just lighting it up in this building. He now has 11 goals in his last 10 here, 72 in his last 83.
It's just remarkable. The consistency to be able to do that, the ability, of course.
Only Phil Kessel and Matt Sundin have more goals in this arena than Matthews. Sundin, the all-time leader.
Two different ways that Michael Bunting makes this beautiful pass. Matthews off the bench to chip it home, and then Riley finds him up the ice. His shot goes right through for Zlickens, and it's another pair for Matthews.
So Jenner will take the face-off for Columbus against Matthews. 6 skaters on 5. And the draw controlled by the Leafs. Riley's clearing attempt is knocked down. Jenner trying to hold the line. That's poked ahead by Werenski. Bouncing puck. Riley lifts it high in the air. Back down to the Blue Jackets zone. With English on that. Gets some backspin. And Werenski has it back. That's poked away by Kasha. Werenski wraps that down the Leaf zone. Skipped away from Campbell. Well, Matthews bats at it. Bjorkstrand back around. Voracek has that pass tipped away by Kasha. Back down to the Columbus zone, and Kasha negates the icing with an empty net. Flips that back across. Here's Matthews with Voracek playing goal. And Jenner brings it back the other way for the Blue Jackets. Jenner winds his way in, rings that around. Matthews pokes it free. Austin Matthews for the empty net. That's knocked down. This time by Roslovic. Shoots it down to the Toronto zone. Campbell knocks it down. Plays it back around for Muzzin.
All the fans wanted him to shoot it.
Yeah, no. That wasn't Soupy. That was shoot it. Now a chance for a check. Kicked away by Campbell. Roslovic throws that towards the goal. Chance back across. Domi scores at the horn. That puck crossed the line before the horn sounded, or so it appeared.
They'll get a look at it, but it looks like this is Max Domi's goal with about a half a second left.
Yep.
So they got to drop the puck one more time. And
Max Domi has his 4th of the year. So it is a goal, and it's a 5-4 Toronto lead, but there's going to be 0.6 seconds remaining. And the Leafs bounce back from the loss in Winnipeg on Sunday and post a 5-4 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets.
After the 3 goals in the first period, it really didn't feel in danger at any time. Even though there were moments the Leafs got sloppy, they had plenty to win tonight.
And time now for tonight's Molson 3 Stars, and a target-rich environment tonight for the Maple Leafs. We start with Morgan Riley, who ties a career high with 4 assists. Austin Matthews runs his goal-scoring streak to 7. And Oliver Bjorkstrand scores 2 for the Blue Jackets. Next stop for us on Molson Canadian Leafs hockey will be Thursday night when the Leafs play host to the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. Coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern on TSN4 for viewers in the Maple Leafs region. For Mark Masters, Ray Ferraro, all of us at TSN, I'm Gordon Miller. Thanks for tuning in to Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN. Time now for SportsCenter with Jennifer Hedger.